is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
First down. Handoff. Elliott plowing to the goal line. Buried. Sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, Rob Phillips, and Kyle Yeomans.
It's another edition of Talkin Cowboys presented by Tostitos, the official chip and the official dip of the Dallas Cowboys, here from the SWBC studios at the Star in Frisco. Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison with the icy white today.
It's a color rush.
Wow. It's got the star on the shoulder and everything. That is a nice jacket, my friend. And then Rob P. rocking the white Vans underneath the table. You can't see them, but they are white Vans.
They're khaki.
Can't hide money.
See, now this is gaslighting on Heck's part. This is gaslighting. No. He's trying to deflect. He's the fashionista of this show, and he's trying to deflect it on me.
How do you put gaslight up?
I don't know.
I didn't do that.
I agree.
Yeah. You wake up and choose violence this morning. Let's start over again.
No, I love this. I want to keep it going. Are you kidding?
You got the Bruce Almighty white. Okay, you got the Fitbit on the wrist. Right? I mean, you can't hide money.
Movie reference on the show, right?
Well, I gotta have
can't hide money, man. You know what I'm saying, Robbie? Robbie, you do it occasionally. You know what I'm saying? Like once every blue moon.
Yeah.
Heckma, we depend on him. We look for Heckma.
Right. This is damn daily right here. He's trying to deflect it on me.
Wait a minute, dog. That was a sneak diss, right?
No, wait, no, this. Bruce Almighty. Only people with money that can wear white.
Bruce Almighty.
I hadn't thought about that movie in 25 years, man.
He just got it laying around in his hand. He's just like, Bruce. That's Bruce Almighty White.
I
Kyle,
don't
you ever
understand.
seen that one?
I have, yes,
okay.
I have seen that one.
That's a good one.
That's good, right there.
I don't understand how you can just rip out.
I don't know. I'm such a visual person.
It's unbelievable.
It just comes to me.
And it's so true, though.
It's like in seen Goldmember.
Oh, yes.
Michael, the character, he'll just drop a reference of a movie, and he'll just kind of whisper the movie.
Yeah.
Bruce Almighty. That's Isaiah.
That is Isaiah.
It is I.
Oh, well, we're having fun already here on this Tuesday. The Cowboys are 3-1. Week 4 is officially in the rearview mirror. The Cowboys get a win over the Carolina Panthers, 36-28 at AT&T Stadium. They've got one more game of their homestand coming up this weekend against the New York Giants. We're going to take a look back this week and kind of go over the first quarter of the season. What has surprised you? What has impressed you? What has not impressed you very much surrounding this Cowboys team, though they are 3-1 and in first place? And then we'll take some fan calls coming up here in about 15 minutes as well. So 888-855-2297. Once again, that's 888-855-2297. You can call in and be a part of the show. Rob, before we get things started, any news and notes from Mike McCarthy and a couple news dumps yesterday?
He updated some injuries, and it seems like they're coming out pretty clean from the game. Sounds like Amari Cooper will be okay. Obviously played the game, but was dealing with a couple different things, the ribs and the hamstring issue that he had first quarter that he managed throughout the game. So that's encouraging for week 5. Trayvon Diggs is fine, coming out with the back tightness that kept him out of the fourth quarter. So and it sounds like they're optimistic they'll get Keanu Neal back and Bradley and I as well off the COVID list. So knock on wood, no COVID list additions as of this morning.
Oof. Hey, Randy Gregory.
Yeah.
Was there an oblique something with him?
In the game?
Yes.
Not that I'm aware of. That was
okay.
He wasn't on their kind of post-game report. He was dealing with some knee soreness that's been swelling up on him during the week of practice.
Okay.
But that's it that I'm aware of. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, good that he got through the game as well. Jerry was on this morning. Just real quick, I thought it was interesting. He talked about Parsons, Micah Parsons, as the 12th overall pick. And he said, as a linebacker, just strictly as a linebacker, thought it would be too high to take a linebacker that early. But he's a pressure player, and that's the way they view him. And we spoke to him a few minutes on draft night after the press conference, and he kept saying pressure, pressure, pressure. Now, he played a lot of linebacker in the game, but it's the whole package.
Yeah.
I just thought that's kind of revealing the curtain a little bit of what their evaluations of him.
No, I heard that also, and I just think as quickly as they moved him to defensive end, they had to have already had the vision that he was a defensive end in their head. You don't see a lot of players make that transition that quickly unless it's already in front of mind. But even when he was at Penn State, most of the explosive plays that he made was at the line of scrimmage. So, again, just letting him do what he does, I think, is important. And that sack that he had was impressive too, man. Hurdling a guy, good. Tried to run through him, but hurdling a guy and getting that sack just shows his athleticism, man. But as I looked at him and got a chance to watch the tape even more, it just dawned on me like he's going to be a big guy. As the longer he stays in the league, it's going to be interesting to see if he can stay at linebacker because of his size, because of his height, all of that.
Do you agree with that in terms of a pressure situation or a pressure player?
I mean, yeah, he's explosive. I mean, I think that when you say pressure, I mean he's explosive. So I mean, you could put him anywhere, and he's gonna apply pressure. I mean, you could put the boy at cornerback and blitz him off the edge if you wanted to. I mean, the reality is you could play him at every position in this field. So he's that versatile of a player. He's obviously fast. He's quick. He's elusive. He's able to shed blocks, all those kind of things. So any player that encompasses all those things along with his size, yeah, absolutely, they could be a pressure player.
So you're saying as he grows into his frame, because he's 21, 22 years old, maybe he's a pass rusher.
No, he is.
Eventually, no, I mean like as he gets into his career. He's more of that.
And I love what Jerry was saying about him being a linebacker and taking him at that pick. You just don't pick linebackers there. Pressure guys get picked there. So following the money of the NFL, how guys get paid, but also looking at his size, that it automatically would, to me, be a natural fit for him to be an end. But again, look, obviously there are going to be some things that they're going to do with him physically over the years. I'm just saying just how big he is, right? He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Is he more Ray Lewis or is he more Von Miller?
I would definitely say Von Miller.
Me too.
I agree.
I would lean that way as well.
Because that first step, man, that's Von-like. I mean, that's –
And the thing that I'm seeing in his game is when you play linebacker, man, you have to take on blocks. I don't think that he does as good a job at taking on blocks. I think because of his speed, he does a good job at running around blocks. He may take take the wrong gap, and because of his speed, he can make up for it on the back end. Look, they're just little things in his game that I'm seeing. And also, Isaiah, I was thinking about you when I was watching the tape. You remember that first OTA practice that we watched? And he was out there, he was gassed.
Yeah.
He was gassed.
Yeah.
When you watch him during the game, sometimes, and he got more reps than he ever did this last game, there were points in time in the game where number 11 was gassed.
Mm-hmm.
It's also because he has that competitive edge to him.
Heck yeah.
He
It's 100%.
doesn't let up.
It's 100%.
There's no let up in his game, and that's probably half of the reason why he's gassed so quickly. It's not necessarily conditioning.
No, we're not questioning that.
You're talking
when you empty the tank every play.
Yeah,
right?
and that's what he does.
You empty the tank and it fills right back. You close a valve and it fills back up. Right, that's what he's doing. He's emptying the tank. He's closing a valve. It fills back up. And yeah, you get depleted at some point in time. If you're not depleted, then you're probably not emptying the tank.
The thing about it, though, is when you look at this defense from last year, they had a couple different, I guess we won't call it deficiencies. He provides help in a lot of areas in terms of the pass rush, covering running backs, providing that speed at the linebacker position. That's
crazy.
The tight ends, they need more of that. So it's like you don't want to pigeonhole him into one spot right now because they need it, even though they do have some linebacker depth, especially when you don't have Keanu Neal in the lineup. But I just thought that was interesting what Jerry said. And you go back to Jerry's history is, with the franchise, and that's the highest they've taken a linebacker, a true linebacker, is Bobby Carpenter in 2006 at 18 or something like that. And then it was Van Der Esch at 19.
Bobby Carpenter.
Yeah, haven't heard that name in a while.
Good guy. Didn't pan out,
did it?
Not like they hoped.
Well, and going back to even the thought process surrounding the draft show, going into the April draft was we didn't want to see a linebacker taken that early. That was why the draft show was so low on Micah Parsons, because it was a linebacker, and positional value was a term thrown around a lot, mostly from me. But that positional value doesn't apply to Micah Parsons. And we're seeing that early on. He's not pigeonholed into being a linebacker. So it was refreshing to hear Jerry Jones say that today, that he thinks of Micah Parsons not as a linebacker, but as a pressure player. Now, along with Micah Parsons, lots of improvements on the defensive side of the football. Has that unit been the most impressive to you through the first quarter of the season, or has there been another unit that has stuck out to you, Rob?
Which position? I'm sorry.
Just any position. What has impressed you the most in terms of a unit so far this year, whether it's a turnaround or just pure dominance? I mean, which one has impressed you top to bottom?
Probably the running back tandem with Zeke and Pollard. I mean, they're second in rushing, I think, right now, like 165 yards a game.
Crazy.
And I think when you say that, you have to tie it into the offensive line. Zach Martin has been lights out. Terrence Steele, we talked about it, Kyle and I, last week, about his run blocking has been really good in tandem with Zach Martin. So you have to bring in the top 5 guys with that. But is there a better 1-2 punch in the league right now at the running back spot? I don't know. I couldn't think of one. And Zeke is being Zeke of 2016, whatever you want to say. I think it helps him when he's got his line in front of him, but he did shed weight. He did work on his short area quickness, and you're seeing it out here.
Yeah. I can't agree with you in the regards that I'm most surprised by them. I do agree with you in the fact that they're killing it.
I'm saying impressed. Maybe
impressed. Yeah, I'm not even necessarily impressed. And I guess to be impressed, I guess your expectation has to be exceeded.
Okay.
So my expectation for those guys was already high. I didn't have any doubt that we have a hell of a two-headed monster in those two guys. So I'm not impressed in that regards. I'm assured, right? It's confirmation, it's affirmation that they're doing what I expected, what I expected them to do.
Sure.
Defensively, I'm impressed at our depth. I am impressed by our depth and everybody's ability. Now, I know Quinn and I know his ability to develop players and how guys are going to want to play for him and the culture change. I knew all that was going to come, but I am impressed by how every single guy that touches the field is having an impact. A lot of times you'll see guys that can come in and fill in for a play or two to give somebody some air, give somebody a win, but it's not often that you see every guy come in the game and have an impact. I mean, the only person I could probably think of off top that's come in the game that hasn't had an impact like we expected him to is probably Malik Hooker. Mm-hmm. And Kennedy. I'll throw those two out there.
And Malik, it's one of those things where
he's still figuring it. He's still getting his legs underneath him.
Yeah, they took some time, like the long plan with him.
Yeah, so I mean, Malik Hooker, he has grace because he's still getting his legs underneath him. You know, Kennedy had a heck of a camp, and I think we expected to see more of an impact from him. That transition, that transfer over from the camp to the season, I don't think we've seen that. But other than that, I think every other person, you think Basham, you think Ghost, you start thinking about all these guys. And he came in and had impact. Every single guy that has filled in as a second or third tier guy has had an impact on the game.
And that's something we were searching for last year. I mean, that was, you were hoping that happened last year. Yeah. Now you expect it to happen. Yeah. So I'm there with you. What do you think, Hector?
No, I mean, you guys basically cover both sides of the ball. But I mean, going on the defensive side, obviously, how can you not be impressed with the defense? The defensive line for me is what's most impressive. The kind of pressure that they are able to generate, and you saw it on display versus the Panthers. Osia Odighizuwa in his emergence, I don't know if the coaches knew what they had in him, but obviously now they're starting to understand that this rookie has a lot to offer the defensive line. Also, Brent Urban, a guy that's not getting a lot of credit for what he's doing. But when you turn on the tape, 95 is taking on 2 blockers. Yep. He's blowing up stuff, and that, to me, that's the promising thing as it relates to what we saw last season. Also, Big Bohanna, but also you talk about Terrell Basham. His ability in those sub packages that he comes in on, he's being very effective and also getting pressure. But, Randy Gregory had a game. And when you turn on the tape and watch what 94 did, you just see his dominance. And that's a part of the culture that we continue to talk about. And you see guys competing on every level. And when you have rookies that come in like this, mixed with these veterans from other teams, that when you speak to that depth coming in and mixing together, man, this is just a very competitive group, and the flying around and hitting that they do, I just believe it's contagious.
Mike McCarthy said yesterday the competition on defense, it's not even close compared to what it was last year. Nope. Speaking to the depth, and then Dan Quinn spoke about how they've played 30 different guys on defense through 4 games. And I looked it up. I went back to the first 4 games last year. It was like 21 players. But when you factor in how many rookies and how many second-year guys and how many new guys that you mentioned, Heck, it's like 17 guys in this rotation on defense that were not on the roster last year. I mean, it's not perfect right now, but this thing has really come together well and maybe faster than people thought with Dan Quinn here.
How many guys are we missing that we expect to be starters?
3?
Gallimore.
Tristan Hill.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of a rotation.
Tank.
Tank, obviously Tank. Kelvin Joseph. So that's
You're
four right there.
missing, over 30% of your starters.
Yeah, or guys that are going to play.
And you feel like you're not even missing those guys.
I was about to say, do you even feel like you're missing?
You're missing them. That's what I'm going to say. I put the word feel.
You are.
You're missing them, but you don't feel as if you're missing. There's not a void that you see that's obvious, right? There's not when a team watches you on film, they're like, okay, we can hit this spot because their guy's not there. You don't feel that.
No, and I think the crazy thing in going into the season, we had so many huge question marks on this defense. How are they going to look? How are they going to compete compared to last season? They've knocked every last one of those questions out of the ballpark. We've had questions about Dak. How is Dak going to perform coming back from the ankle injury? We didn't see him in OTAs. We didn't see him a lot in training camp. Didn't see him in preseason. And he's come out and he smashed those expectations. So really just, I guess, team overall, man, you can't help but be happy about where we are right now.
So with this being said, is it time to re-rack the expectations going into the regular season that we had for this team? Was this a playoff team going into it? Is there a chance to re-rack it after 4 games and say either we expect them to do more than just be a playoff team or to be less?
I think coming into the season, my expectation for them was to make the playoffs just based upon their roster.
Right?
Just based upon
and the division around you.
Yeah, and the division around you.
Sure.
They should make the playoffs. Making the playoffs and going deep in the playoffs are 2 different conversations.
Exactly.
2 different conversations. I've been on teams that just made the playoffs, and I've been on teams that obviously went all the way through. And the culture and the dynamic and the continuity of those teams are drastically different. I have elevated my expectation for this team now, simply because now those question marks that that I had will our coordinators have the impact and the ability to be able to change the culture on both sides of the ball? Check. Okay. Can these guys match up against an opponent that could bust them in the mouth, right? And can they respond? Check, right? They can match that intensity, right? How's our depth looking? Does our depth look good, right? If we have some guys missing, it's going to be like last year where guys go out and all of a sudden the season's down and out. No. Check. With all those boxes checked now, absolutely. I think we have to elevate our expectations because now they've proven that they can handle all those different forms of adversity.
So what would your expectation now be?
Division championship.
Okay.
NFC East title.
I mean, that's for sure.
And beyond that?
Beyond that, yeah. I'm talking about opportunity, the game to get to the bowl.
Oh, you want to get to the
division,
NFC championship?
Yeah, NFC championship game.
NFC title game, okay.
Yeah.
Rob?
Yeah, my expectations are up, no doubt. And I think it's not just what we've seen from this team, it's what they did against Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. And I think if we talk about preseason predictions and stuff, I think everybody felt like Tampa Bay, if they don't walk through to the Super Bowl, they're by far the favorite to do it. And they've showed through 4 games they're human. I mean, Cowboys took them to the limit. New England took them to the limit, and they've got everybody back. And the Cowboys have we just talked about all these new guys through 4 games, and the Cowboys, they should continue to get better with as many young players as they have. Health is the big factor. If guys get hurt, it changes everything. Hopefully that doesn't happen to this team. But they're in a group of, 3 or 4 teams in the entire NFC, maybe the league, where it's offensively, it's like, can you outscore this team? Can you do it?
Yeah.
And I don't see that not continuing, health willing, because they've got the talent and they've got the versatility to do it. And you got to score points in this league. It gets harder as the season goes on and the weather gets colder. But they've got a recipe to win it. Why are you laughing?
I'm looking at Heckma. I'm waiting for Heckma. He's about to explode.
No.
You're gonna simmer down?
Because I'm
You're
what?
excited.
I am.
You are excited.
Listen, I
can see it in your eyes.
I don't want to
There's a
jump out
twinkle.
the cake right now.
Oh.
And here's the thing.
You want to.
I do. I absolutely I absolutely want to. But the thing is that look, at a quarter of the season, Cowboy fans are typically in 2 positions. Either we're going to the Super Bowl or we're going to get the number 1 draft pick.
Yep.
That's the mentality because either we're at 1-3 or we're 3-1 where we are right now.
So Dak said it yesterday or last week. He said, you guys are way too hard on us when we lose a game, and when we win, y'all gas us up too much, honestly.
And I just
not wrong.
And I feel like you from what your expectations were about this team, seeing them perform, now you're like, oh man, I like that. They're showing that championship pedigree. But then you recognize that this is a long season.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, look, expectations are there for a reason, and it's because they're earning that expectation. But when it comes down to the NFC East and the teams that we play in our division, just like this game coming up on Sunday, we can't look too far
No.
down. I'm talking about for me. I can't look too far down the road.
You don't want to do that to yourself.
I don't want to do that to myself because I set myself up for the disappointment at the end of the year. So I'm telling myself, well, where we are right now, the health, the depth that you just talked about, some of the big plays and playability that we have on this team, I'm taking that and saying, okay, we got some more of these things. 13 more to be exact. Let's keep our balance. Let's keep our defense on the rails the way that it is. And possibly let's win the NFC East. And everything else after that, baby, is sprinkles.
I like it.
Couple things. Okay, so
Very well said.
I get it very well said. I get into it with people from week to week because as a player, you have to respect your opponent. As a player, you respect everybody that you play against.
Yeah, it's the NFL.
So it's the NFL. So you acknowledge every single threat that you're going to face. You acknowledge what's your threat. You acknowledge what you need to expose, and then you go out there and hopefully you take care of business, and you hope that it's easier than what you anticipated, right? But you go into every game with the expectation that you're about to play some dudes, right? And they're going to bring their A game because you are playing some dudes, and some teams are just better than others, right? With that said, you have to take care of the division, right? So this game, we're supposed to win this game. But if you go into this game without acknowledging who can hurt you, without acknowledging what parts of the game that they can exploit on you, then you leave yourself susceptible to getting got, right? So that's speaking to your point, right? But yeah, you still address it and you say, hey, guess what? These dudes are balling now. If Daniel Jones shows up, boom. If Saquon decides to be Saquon, then guess what? And if we don't respect that, we're going to get scraped up.
I mean, they did win last week.
Absolutely, right? But as I look, the reason why I said, okay, we're supposed to win our division based upon talent and our competition level. That's my statement that I said coming into the season. Now the reason why I raise our expectation level, I'm looking at the NFC in its entirety. Green Bay, threat.
Sure.
Tampa, threat. San Fran, not consistent. LA, big threat. Right? Seattle, not with it this year. Right? Not consistent. Philly, no. Minnesota, no. Giants, no. Bears, they can't figure it out. Cardinals, yes. They're real. They're freaking real. Okay? Carolina, we just took care of them. We might see them boys again. Because I feel like they're real.
That's so funny. I'm right. I just made a list. And I had all your teams. I added Seattle just because they have Russ.
Yeah, Seattle's always
they're always there.
I don't think that they're going to go deep. I think they make. I mean, I don't know if they make the playoffs this year with that division.
Yeah, that division's so tough, man.
The New Orleans, I don't think they have the leadership that they need. Washington, no. Detroit, no. Atlanta, no. And then it's us. So when I start talking about us going playoffs, we definitely get there, right? And then division. I mean, in terms of getting to the championship game, if we get past one or two of these games, then we're good, right? So that's my expectation for us. The only thing that I can see us getting derailed in terms of our depth, I still don't like our quarterback depth. Quarter.
Oh, you're saying QB.
I don't like our QB depth.
If Dak goes
I think
down
if Dak
for a
goes
week
down,
or
we're
two.
in trouble. I think if Dak goes down, we're in trouble. Every other position, we've proven that we're okay. D-line, okay. Cornerback, okay. Safety, okay. Offensive lineman, okay. Running back, we got two of them boys, right? Quarterback, I don't like it.
I think we proved that last year, though. I mean, even with Andy Dalton, you were still in trouble. And now you see exactly what Dak Prescott brings to the table from a wholehearted perspective. Now that he's back into the mix, this offense doesn't look even remotely similar.
And you could say that about Green Bay. I can't name Green Bay's backup.
Nope.
Oh, well, yes, I can, actually. but L.A., Seattle, Arizona, I can't tell you.
That's the whole league. That's the whole league. But going back to what you were saying, I absolutely am there with you on that. And one thing I don't want to see us do is play down to opponents. And I think that's the real measure of a championship team. Because look, there are no glass jaw Joes in the NFL. You're gonna have to show up and you're gonna have to play guys. And if you obviously turn the ball over, make miscues, you get beat. And so that's why I'm hesitant, right, to go out there because I recognize, look, what do we do when we play an opponent like the Giants, like New England, that are like Atlanta, where we're supposed to show up and punch them in the mouth? Do we play down to them or do we take care of business? Is it over with by third quarter and I got a Cowboy Reader in my hand?
We're so close to this, and I want to get your thoughts on this too. What do you think?
Oh, I think the expectations are certainly higher.
Yeah?
Yeah, from an overall perspective. I mean, you're reading through the list, and there are three teams that scare me right now, and that's the Cardinals, the Rams, the Buccaneers. To an extent of being better than the Cowboys right now. And honestly, from what I saw in New England on Sunday Night Football, I think if the Cowboys were to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Week 5 rather than Week 1, I think the Buccaneers. I think the
we
Cowboys
missed the opportunity.
I think the Cowboys would win that game.
Yeah.
100%. I think the Cowboys would
With
win that
Gronk
game.
on the team or Gronk at home?
Both. Either way. I'll jump out of the cake on that. I think going into Week 1, or coming out of Week 1, I should say, I think the Cowboys. Or I thought the Cowboys got lucky that it was a Week 1 game and it made it close. And it was like, man, I wish it wasn't. Or I'm completely messing all of this statement.
I understand what you're trying to say.
But I'm saying going into Week 1, I thought Tampa Bay
Got lucky.
Understood. Whereas originally I thought the Cowboys got lucky Week 1 because of how close it was and maybe catching Tampa Bay off guard. I think Tampa Bay got lucky because the Cowboys hadn't hit their
You got
stride
Zach Martin in that game. Week 5, maybe you feel better about
That's
running the ball.
And nobody says that.
That's huge.
And maybe it's more of a
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. That's everybody in this everybody who has an opinion on football can understand that Tampa's a threat.
They are
to any freaking team, right? And you rather catch them earlier than later. As long as everybody's healthy, because so it's kind of a double-edged sword. We're better later on; they're better later on. Yeah. So it's like,
And that's why I don't worry about the Cardinals, because I feel like the Cardinals in their division, they're going to be so beat up by the time they
You think so?
I'm still worried about the Cardinals.
No, because I think
AJ Green has a
man.
resurgence.
What I'm saying is, you look at that division, they have to play. Look, man,
it's a tough division.
Not everybody can make the playoffs.
No,
and they're going to be fighting.
Yeah.
And you saw how they finished.
Three can make it.
Three can make it?
Yeah. And you saw how they finished last year at the end of the season. So
I just think we're so close to this, and we get so excited about how they're playing. But you go to different cities, and Arizona's right now thinking, this is our year, finally. Green Bay's thinking, Rodgers is back. We're back. LA's thinking this is the missing piece. We just needed a veteran quarterback. And Tampa's thinking, over 17 weeks, we'll be there by the end of it.
Arizona filled their holes. Arizona did a heck of a job this offseason filling their holes. They know that they needed to give Kyler Murray. I know this is not Arizona's show, but they addressed what they needed to address, and now they're freaking locked in.
And their defense is balling.
Yeah, they're balling.
Well, they got a dude in the middle that helps.
Isaiah Simmons, baby.
And well, next to
Baker.
him, freaking, oh, man, and then a JJ.
That Watt guy.
That Watt guy.
Yeah, that JJ Watt guy. All right, let's take our break. We went a little over. Sorry, Chris.
Guys.
When we come back, we're going to take some fan calls right here on Talkin' Cowboys.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar. And a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Time to talk about our friends over at Caliber Collision. It is a great people, great pay replay. You've heard that one tight end that used to play for the Dallas Cowboys. Who was it, Isaiah?
J-Dub.
J-Dub. Jason Witten has joined the Caliber Collision team. If you want to join him and do great work with great people for great pay, apply now at jobs@caliber.com. That's jobs@caliber.com. com. Second segment here of Talkin Cowboys. Now, we do understand that the Twitter live broadcasts were not working today across the Twitter website. So I don't know how many people are ringing the phone lines at the moment, but call us in at 888-855-2297. It's tougher to do it without Twitter, because Twitter's the interactive website back and forth. So if we have callers, we will take them. But 888-855-2297. Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, Rob Phillips. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Here for Talkin Cowboys, presented by Tostitos. Chris Beam doing work in the back, as always. And we're talking about expectations for this Cowboys team. That's going to be the question I'll ask our callers. We do have callers. Who do we got, Chris?
I'm sorry, guys. I was on the phone with the callers. We've got the first guy up. Hold on a second. Let me latch him in.
Latching in the caller. Takes a little bit of time there.
It's Andre in D.C.
What up, Andre?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How's it going, man?
Good, man. Good to talk to you guys.
You as well.
All right. So, yeah, man, just overall about this season, I'm just excited about the job that Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn have done, the coordinators have done. I mean, for years we talked about, or, we have frustration over going into a game with a game plan that just was stubborn and hard-headed. But to see Kellen Moore switch it up every week according to the weaknesses or strengths of the opposing team and the success that that's bringing, and the job that Dan Quinn has done just turning this defense totally around, I'm just super, super excited about that.
Now, Andre, we've been talking about expectations for this team. Now that you just said that about what Kellen Moore's done, where's your expectation for this team?
Okay. Yeah, man. So coming into the season, I mean, I expected to win the division. Like I said, I'm here in D.C., so I'm
behind enemy lines.
Yeah. So
doing work.
Surrounded by the Washington fans and the team, and and just seeing the dysfunction, even though they won the division at 7-9 last year. The expectation was that we were better than them. We were outclassed them. I expected to win the division. I just think I know in the NFL it's hard to win a championship. I mean, everything has to go perfect for you to do that. But it's also when you have the situation, when you have the talent, when you have the coaching, when you have the depth, that you have to take advantage of those seasons and put that all the way together. I mean, you gotta kind of catch lightning in a bottle and make it happen when you're able to. So, I mean, I think that's the like you say, the conference championship is a good expectation.
Yeah.
Not that it's going to be easy to get there, but the way these guys are playing, man, that's my expectation. At least get to the conference game.
Hey, I'm right there with you,
Appreciate
Andre.
that, Andre.
Appreciate your call from D.C. and doing great work behind enemy lines, like you said earlier. That kind of goes along with what you had talked about last week and then, of course, yesterday in our review of the Panthers game. But coordinators are doing some work right now.
Yeah, I mean, coordinators, hopefully people put some respect on their name, because people need to understand, as much as fans love to see the players out there, y'all need to love the coordinators just as much, because the coordinators literally call the game. They call the game. The players carry out what is called. Yes, quarterbacks have the ability to change plays, but guess what? Those plays are given by the coordinators as well. So coordinators need to be highly respected. That's why they're highly, sought after in this league. They have a direct impact on the product that's on the field.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We've got another caller, and since we went long in that first segment, we'll go straight to it. Brian from Iowa is on Talkin Cowboys. Brian, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, I have like a 2-question part. The first question is, do you guys feel like this team reminds you of the 92 team when they started out and there were so many high expectations, and the way that this team's building their culture? And then my second question also reminds me of a Tony Casillas. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Brian. What do you think, Rob?
I didn't watch those teams well enough to know that comparison, honestly. I get what he's saying about the 92 team just because that was a young team that didn't have super high expectations. In fact, when they won the Super Bowl, it was kind of like they were a year ahead of schedule. So I could see that. They were. It's 4 games, but they remind me more of the 2016 team where they can beat you a bunch of different ways. Dak doesn't have to do it all by himself. Dak was inexperienced, obviously, that year. Dak can win a game for you with his arm and his legs now, but he doesn't have to at this point because of all their versatility. And then defensively, they're getting some complementary play with turnovers and stuff. It reminds me of 2016. When you see Zeke salt away games like that, that's 5 years ago.
But because I had consciousness in 92, and I remember 92 team vividly, we definitely had a ton of young guys mixed in with a lot of veterans. Charles Haley was on. I mean, you talk about some dogs that we had on our team mixed in even in the secondary with Thomas Everett, I believe. He was from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And so, again, all of that mixed in made for that championship squad. But the weird thing about the victory that we got versus the Panthers, that was actually a 90s Cowboys kind of win where Troy Aikman would have thrown for 188 yards, 4 touchdowns. Emmett would have ran for 145 yards. And we beat a team by 8 or 20 points. That was Cowboy football. Now you think about it, Troy Aikman or even the greats from back then, they couldn't have played but it would have been hard to play in this NFL with the way that quarterbacks are throwing now. Troy Aikman didn't have games where he threw the ball 58 times. So didn't have to.
Yep.
And the reason being is because he had Emmett, as great as Troy was as a passer, Emmitt Smith was the caveat to make all of those things run.
What do you think?
I didn't watch enough of it. I wasn't
92.
I wasn't watching.
I know he said conscious in 92. I was like, I'm out on that one.
It's all good.
But no, that's good. I like that from both of you guys. Kind of talking about that 2016 team. I was right there with you when I was watching the other day. I mean, I was thinking 2016. Zeke was able to run the ball. Offensive line was bullying people, even against a defense that was hitting you hard and punching you in the mouth. The way that they were able to really kind of counteract the physicality from Carolina was reminiscent of that 2016 team.
And they punched us.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. I'm going to throw out a quick Osa comparison just off the top of my head.
Ooh.
I don't know if this is a good one.
Come on.
Maybe Jay Ratliff.
Wow.
Maybe he can,
I could see that.
He can play a couple different spots for you. He can rush off the edge. He's not the biggest defensive tackle, but he can get a lot of pressure. He's got some quickness off the snap. Kind of reminds me of Jay a little bit. And I don't know.
Isaiah's about to jump
swivel.
out the building.
Head on the swivel here.
There's
Isaiah's
is that way off?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I play with J Rat. I know J Rat's mentality, so I don't know Osa's mentality, so I can't make that comparison.
Well, that's unmatched.
Yeah, J Rat
his
is
toughness
unleashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if Osa has that same.
I don't know if he has that same switch. J Rat has a switch.
He's got that turbo.
It's not even a turbo. It's a hey, I'm cool, and then I'm pissed off. Like J Rat is literally on or off.
He doesn't blink a lot.
No,
man. If he blinks, he's angry. He's blinking fast. J Rat just get out.
Bears
of the way.
and people that don't blink. So
he's probably up on that list. All right, let's go quickly to Jordan from Maryland. Jordan, you're on Talkin Cowboys. What's on your mind?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up?
Hey, I just got a couple quick questions. Since y'all talking about expectations for the Cowboys, I wanted to ask which of the top teams in the NFC do you think present the biggest threat to Dallas, and why? And do you think that the Cowboys should consider resting Amari Cooper maybe the week before the bye week, just to he's been really banged up lately, and he's a pivotal part to our offense. And that's all I really wanted to ask you. I really enjoy what y'all do, so I'm gonna hang up and listen to what y'all got to say.
Well, thank you very much, Jordan. What do you think about that, Heckma?
No, I think first to answer the first part, I think that if we have any threats in the NFC right now, it's obviously respect to the world champs and also the Cardinals. And look, we played the world champs and they beat us, and we recognize that. Look,
are we talking all the NFC? Or are we talking about just our? Are we talking all
NFC?
All NFC.
Gotcha.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry. And so the world champs, obviously, my respect level is there, but I think the Cardinals. Kyler Murray is he's a different animal. And when you try and contain him, he gets to he's so elusive. And with having a defense and having J.J. Watt and having the Chandler and Simmons in the middle, I just think that they're the kind of a team that's going to give anybody problems, not just us.
It's a good ball club. That Arizona team's really good.
They're a threat. It's Arizona and beyond you, it's Arizona, the Rams, and Tampa for me. I think those are
my three.
Those are my three. Those guys are all really dangerous. Arizona, obviously, because you can't stop them offensively when Kyler decides that he doesn't want to be stopped, because he has threats on both sides that are good. And then for Tampa, for obvious reasons, experience, and they got that dude at QB. And then for the Rams, I think they're only going to get better. I think Stafford's just getting his feet up underneath them, and yeah. they're gonna be a problem towards the end of the year.
I saw a stat. They're 40-0 when leading at halftime.
Yeah.
40. How is that even possible? Carolina's 0-1 last week when leading at halftime. I'm just saying.
I would add Seattle and Green Bay to that group, just because if you get in a playoff situation,
they know what to do.
They can win you a game just on the strength of their skills. The quarterbacks can. As far as Amari, they got 2 games to go before the bye. I think if you can manage him, whether if he's limited in practice, and get him through these 2 games, and you get a week off, basically 2 weeks of rest. That's, these games matter. That New England game's not going to be easy.
I was about to say, I kind of want him for that New England game, because
are you ready for the bye week?
I need him.
I'm getting there.
Are you ready for the
Thanks
bye week?
to you.
I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, thanks to you.
I'll be ready.
What do you mean?
I'm so confused.
We have game day, and our bye week is a game week for us.
You want that
not
Sunday
for the Cowboys, but for the podcast.
You're talking about the running deal.
Have you forgotten already?
Yeah. Well,
that's not even scheduled, is it?
Yeah, I didn't even know that was like a legit thing still.
This thing's going to be like March, man, if it even happens. And I don't think it's going to happen.
Let's take a break. We got to hit our second one. When we come back, we're going to talk to G from Jersey. Hang on for just a couple of moments. We'll be right back here on Talkin Cowboys.
You're in it.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay. No surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Whether you're watching from home or cheering in the stands, with Essilor lenses, you'll see every exciting play. Book an appointment at your local Essilor expert and find the perfect Essilor lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
Did I do it okay?
That's for the gram.
Hedman changed it up a little bit, and it messed me up, but that's okay.
What do you mean? How did I change it?
It sounded fantastic.
How did I change it? What did I do?
There was something in there that was a little like you just threw your Heckma spin on it.
It's all good. You won't get that read back.
Nope, probably not. The sultry voice is there.
I was stressing with you.
Good job. Well done. All right, G from Jersey, you're on Talkin Cowboys. What's up, my friend?
Fellas, first and foremost, hey, Zay, get yourself some WD-40 and go visit Britt Brown for that hip, man.
You heard that?
You heard it.
You heard the pop of the hip?
Listen, man, y'all kept it PG-13.
Oh, we were under in the break?
Yes.
Dang, CBZ.
Well, he can hear it. He can hear it when they're on the phone.
Yeah. Oh, hey, bro. Hey, that's just my body getting ready.
I ain't gonna tell Jesse about that.
I saw Danny upstairs. I hope he's not listening.
Oh, that's awesome.
Go visit Britt, man.
I spent enough time with Britt.
Listen, fellas, but hey, heck,
yo,
this is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like I just pulled up to the party and I'm not sure if I want to drink yet or not. They offered me to drink and I'm like, listen, just give me a little sip and we'll see where we go from there. I feel good about this team, but we've been here before. We've been here too often, and I think, this is the first quarter of the season we just finished, and we've been here before. The team is looking real good, but I think after the next 4 games, we'll get a better read about where we are. But I just want to point out one more thing, guys. We give this guy a lot of slack, man, and we pound him about his game management. But I just want to give kudos to Coach McCarthy for having us feeling the way that we do, because he's definitely changed the culture in that locker room. And what he's done is he's filtered out the poodles, and he's got more dogs in that locker room now. And I don't know if him and his staff have anything to do with the draft, but it seems like we've hit on dogs, on players and starters over the last 2 drafts that are actually contributing, man. But I just want to give a shout-out to Coach McCarthy for making everybody want to play and making that locker room competitive. Because, and I have a question for you guys, how competitive and how ugly is it going to be at practice over the next month when all of those guys start to come back? Because the guys that are replacing them now, they're balling, man. But we got starters that are out that are looking to come back in. And I'll end my call on that. Thank you, guys.
Man, excellent call, bro.
Yeah.
What are you doing 9 to 5 on Monday through Friday? Are you free to come down to Texas, G? Because that was fantastic. Just take my job.
Man, listen, man. My wife heckles me too much because I definitely do. I have a really good job, but she says you spend too much time on the Cowboys not to do something for them. Because listen, man. It's for as hard as life is, man, this is the best part of the year right here, man.
I agree with you.
It's true.
These 4 months, and it's just, we get to play pretend GM every day on Twitter. You know what I mean? And it's nothing better. And Kyle and Heck, you guys know I'm always tagging you on something.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for responding.
Good.
But yeah, man, I'll let you guys go, man. But I would love to. If somebody could let me know how to create a podcast or something, I'm all for it, man. But guys, stay blessed, man.
You as well.
Hey, call us back. Call us back.
Yeah. Be free. Come back and call us because we love talking with you. But kind of going back to his question, what is that competitiveness is going to be like? It gets me excited thinking about it. Having DeMarcus Lawrence back, having Dorrance Armstrong back, having Tristan Hill, Neville Gallimore mixing in through that defensive line, and then also not to mention Michael Gallup having to come back and Lyle Collins.
Isaiah's been talking about this for 7 months. I mean, you started to sound like a broken record. You started with the whole Dan Quinn hire saying that the competitiveness is going to come up and that the culture is going to change. Obviously, Mike McCarthy's going to get credit for a lot of it, but when it comes down to what we're doing defensively, look, there are guys like Tristan Hill that are walking back into the unknown and uncertain. And same for Neville Gallimore. Where is he going to be in this rotation now that Osa and, Bohanna and guys like that are playing? I mean, obviously he's going to get back in the rotation, but what's that time going to be? And if you're Tank Lawrence, boy, you better hurry up and spray some WD-40 on that foot because they're moving number 11 and 94 around. 93 is doing his thing. So that pressure cooker situation that you see and talking about in practice, that's only good things for the team.
It's great things for the team, not only for that side of the ball, but our special teams will improve. Man, I know I bring it up all the time, but that third of the game will become drastically better. Simply because those second and third tier guys that are starting right now, getting a lot of tick, they won't get as much tick maybe when those other guys come back. Right. So guess what? They're still going to be suited up. You think they're just going to sit on the sideline? No, they're going to be on the special teams, right? In some role. So it's good for the whole team, not only just for competitive wise, just for those positions, but also for that other third of the game where extra guys, right, where extra bodies go to make an impact.
Yeah, and the only thing I would add is just the number of young guys that are having to play right now. Not Mike is obviously part of the game plan from week 1, but that serves young players well going forward, especially if they're needed into January and February as part of that rotation. They should only be better for it, better served for having this time early.
And Osa's going to be a part of the game plan too, I think, moving forward, but it just won't be as big of a chunk. I mean, he won't take those chunk snaps like he's taking right now. Then he's going to have a rotation. Legs are going to be fresh, and that's an exciting precedent set for the Cowboys when those guys come back. Had a lot of fun here over the last 50 minutes, but that's it for us here on Talking Cowboys. For Heckma Harrison, Isaiah Stanback, Rob Phillips, Chris Beam in the back. Thanks to all our callers today. I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long from the Star in Frisco. We'll see you tomorrow on Talking Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?